Today, an engine fire was reported in mid-flight while returning to Los Angeles. The Delta Airlines plane bound for Atlanta had to make an emergency return to Los Angeles Airport after one of its engines caught fire during takeoff. The flight is Delta Airlines 446, operated by a Boeing 767-400. It was carrying 226 passengers and 9 crew members. Fortunately, no injuries have been reported. They landed safely, and well, that's part of what's happening today. Let's go to the headline of what's happening around the world. The inevitable is about to happen over there in Syria. Let's get into the details. In a single day, an exodus of 128,000 people has been reported. Syria is facing a situation of sectarian violence. This has resulted in more than 1,000 people losing their lives in just the last 7 days. This, according to what the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says. The clashes, which began on July 13, involved Druze fighters, Bedouins, Sunnis, and government forces. The government forces, mainly in the southern province of Swaida, according to this human rights organization based in London. It states that at least 336 fighters and 298 Russian civilians may have lost their lives. And in 194 of those cases, it was basically execution by firing squad. 342 regime security personnel also lost their lives, along with 21 Sunni Bedouins, including 3 civilians who were reportedly killed by Russian fighters. At least 15 regime soldiers lost their lives due to Israeli bombings, as far as is known. This adds another layer, another dimension to what is happening in that region of the world. The most regrettable, the most striking thing, aside from the obvious loss of life, is the fact that they are moving, being displaced, 128,000 people. That was just yesterday, July 19th, aside from the other days. According to the report from the Ministry of the Interior, Syria confirmed the ceasefire in Swaida, achieving the withdrawal of tribal fighters after deploying forces from the northern and western areas of the region. There is a tense calm at this moment, although the tense calm is constantly being broken. And multiple videos are being uploaded where, up to this date, up to the moment of this broadcast, there are still clashes in different locations. Hey, maybe things are a little calmer, maybe this could be... It could be that some of those confrontations have a little less action than in other areas, let's say, but the situation is still very complicated. And even today, July 20th, there are still reports of military movements, gunfire, fires, and obviously a lot of people from the area are still being displaced. The interim president, Amir al-Chara, has tried to be close to the West. The United States declared an immediate end to hostilities to prevent a possible military intervention by Israel. The United States Special Envoy, Tom Barrack, assured that the agreement has the support of Israel, Turkey, and Jordan. This latest agreement was reached just yesterday. Since the fall of the dictator Bashar al-Assad back in December, the country has continued to face a series of tremendous instabilities and violence, and it has been increasing. The director of the Israeli Ministry of Health, Mossad Bazimantov, has said that they will be helping the wounded. He says it's a moral obligation, referring especially to the people in the south, particularly the Russians. At this moment, it is reported that there are no more Bedouins left in the city of Swaida. This would be an entry then towards the crucial truce. The Syrian government has reportedly officially confirmed the cessation of clashes after a week of intense attacks, in which they claim that the tribal fighters were evacuated and that the security forces already control the troubled neighborhoods. According to what is known, all tribal fighters are being evacuated from the city, and the clashes in the neighborhoods have stopped. This would be an important point, to keep these groups that have been causing conflict out of the city area, away from where the civilians are. That would be an important first point. He says the following: we bring the Russians, the Bedouins, the Sunnis to lay down their arms and build a united Syrian identity. It would have been said by Tom Barrack himself, who is the United States Special Representative. Obviously sent with the idea of negotiating the truce, the three groups are told to lay down their arms They are going to negotiate in another way, not with violence, not with gunfire. What Damascus wants, what it wants. Syria. The new Syrian government, first of all, wants to keep the Iranians out of the area. And another point that matters to them is also keeping Islamic State of Iraq and Syria out. Islamic State of Iraq and Syria is constantly trying to get in, not to join the government or to destroy everything and start a new government from scratch. And on the other hand, there are the Iranians who are also looking to control the area, to control the fight between Sunnis and Shiites. Iran Shiite, the new Iranian government, they lean more toward the Sunni side. That's also why there are so many clashes. But now let's go to this area where this explosion is happening. This is over in Gaza. Let's get closer to this region of the world since, well, there's also information about it. Israel announced a ground entry into Deir al-Balam, the last major city in Gaza, where there had been no ground operations since the start of the offensive against Hamas. Back there, on that October 7th, right? I mean, since the moment operations began inside Gaza, that area hadn't been touched. The Israeli military spokesperson Abishai Zandre stated that the army continues to act forcefully to destroy Hamas's capabilities. They say that an evacuation has been ordered for the southwest part of Deir al-Balab, including displaced persons camps. The message was clear. For your safety, evacuate immediately and head to the Magwasi area. The city became a refuge for more than a year. This piece belongs to some operators of these groups, but also to thousands of displaced people and international NGOs. According to what Times of Israel reports, about 350,000 people lived in this central governorate of Gaza. Now, many of them are once again being forced to move to another region, mainly towards the coast, towards the southwest. They are taking us towards the Mediterranean. Mawasi, this supposedly safe area, has been constantly bombed, even after being designated as a shelter. From now on, starting these last few days. According to reports, yesterday an Israeli drone killed 3 people, including 2 children. According to the same United Nations organization, more than 425,000 people are crowded in Mawasi. I mean, people there live in very basic conditions, right? And under the constant warning that there could be attacks. He says they're definitely reporting they're in the area. There are some who want to escape to Deir al-Bala. Now they have to go back to Malawasi, which is also being attacked, and they don't know where to go. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs estimates that 86.3% of the Gaza Strip is now under Israeli control or dominance. This includes the evacuated areas and the militarized areas. So far, at least, that's how the situation stands.